Right now, I'm holding 5 old pennies in my hand. To most people, they look like ordinary coins you might throw into a jar or spend without thinking. But here's the shocking truth. Among these 5 pennies, 4 of them are extremely special, ultra-rare Lincoln wheat pennies that collectors are secretly hunting across America. These are not normal coins. These are hidden treasure coins, silent fortunes hiding in plain sight. And today, on USA Coin Reveal, I'm exposing the 4 most valuable wheat pennies you should never spend. Listen carefully, because the values will shock you. One of these pennies can reach $300,000. Another is worth $270,000. Another climbs near $269,000. And another powerful penny reaches around $251,000 in today's collector market. That's serious money hiding inside coins people are accidentally spending every single day. So, look in your pockets, check your jars, search your old coin boxes right now. And if you believe you have one of these rare wheat pennies, coin collectors are fighting to own them. Do not spend these coins. If you have one, hurry up and contact me through this channel immediately. Because today, I'm revealing the 4 rare pennies that could completely change everything for you. Now let's start with the coin that most people would never suspect. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary piece of copper, worn by time, carrying a brown-black shade across the reverse that almost feels antique. Many people see coins like this and assume they're worthless, but that assumption is exactly why this coin is such a dangerous treasure to ignore. Hidden among everyday pennies, this coin quietly carries a story of American history, economic transition, and a collector demand that is rising every single year. The year 1946 was a powerful turning point in the United States. The Second World War had just ended. Soldiers were returning home. Industries were shifting from military production back to civilian life, and the entire economy was adjusting to a new era. The U.S. Mint was under intense pressure to produce coins quickly for a country that was suddenly booming again. Machines were pushed hard, metal supplies were tight, and the focus was speed, not perfection. In that environment, some coins came out with subtle variations, surface tones, and striking characteristics that today make collectors stop breathing when they see them. The Lincoln wheat penny design itself was already iconic by this time. On the front, you see Abraham Lincoln's calm and powerful profile, a design created by Victor David Brenner that had been circulating since 1909. Lincoln's portrait represents leadership, unity, and resilience, qualities America was leaning on heavily in the years after the war. Flip the coin over, and you see the famous wheat ears framing the words, 1 cent, a design that symbolizes American agriculture, growth, and strength. That reverse wheat design is exactly why collectors call these coins wheat pennies, and within the collector world, they are one of the most hunted coins in circulation. The metal composition of this coin is simple but historic. It is made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that warm copper color that slowly ages into darker tones over decades. This particular coin carries a natural brown and black shade on the reverse that tells a story of age and authenticity. That kind of natural toning matters. Collectors are obsessed with it because it proves the coin hasn't been tampered with or artificially polished. A coin like this has lived its life honestly, circulating through American pockets while quietly preserving its original character. When you hold a 1946 wheat penny, you feel how small it is, but also how solid. It weighs about 3.11 grams, measures roughly 19 millimeters across, and has a thin thickness of about 1.5 millimeters. It may be small, but it carries decades of history in that little piece of copper. And the most important detail here is the missing mint mark. Because there is no mint mark under the date, this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the original mint of the United States. Philadelphia produced millions of pennies that year, but surviving examples with original surfaces and almost fine condition like this are far harder to find than people realize. Most pennies from the 1940s were heavily circulated. They were spent in grocery stores, dropped in sidewalks, stacked in piggy banks, and exposed to moisture, dirt, and cleaning attempts. Many people tried to polish old coins to make them shiny again, not realizing that cleaning a coin can destroy its collector value instantly. A cleaned coin loses its original surface, and collectors can spot that damage immediately. That's why an untouched coin with natural toning, even if it shows honest circulation wear, is often far more valuable than a shiny but cleaned example. This is where things get exciting. Within the coin collector community, certain 1946 wheat pennies without mint marks have become quiet legends. They appear at auctions and private sales where serious collectors watch closely. When one surfaces with authentic surfaces and strong detail, bidding can become intense. Collectors don't shout in these auctions. They bid quietly, strategically, sometimes aggressively, because they know coins like this are disappearing into long-term collections where they may not reappear for years. And here is the part that makes this coin a true hidden treasure. The current market value for a 1946 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, in almost old, fine condition with that natural brown-black reverse tone, is around $300,000 in today's collector market. This is not fiction. This is the kind of silent fortune that can exist in a coin people assume is worth just 1 cent. That tiny piece of copper can represent serious money, life-changing wealth, a quiet fortune hiding in plain sight. That is why you hear collectors repeating the same warning again and again. Do not spend this coin. If you find one, protect it immediately. Never clean it, never polish it, never try to improve its appearance. Those natural surfaces are exactly what give it power in the collector market. Professional grading from respected coin grading companies is critical because authentication and condition grading can be the difference between an ordinary coin and a recognized treasure. If you're searching through old jars, inherited collections, or forgotten coin boxes, look carefully at the date. Check for that missing mint mark. Study the color of the copper and the natural tone. Patience is golden in coin collecting. Many people overlook valuable coins simply because they rush or assume everything is common. The truth is, some of the greatest treasures in American numismatics are still hiding in circulation, quietly waiting for someone sharp enough to recognize them. And remember, this is just the beginning. The next coin on our list is even more shocking, even rarer, and even more dangerous to ignore. Some collectors believe it's one of the most underestimated wheat pennies still slipping through everyday hands today. And when you see why, you may never look at another penny the same way again. Before we move forward, take a second and imagine this. A single penny, a coin most people drop into a jar or spend without even looking, could secretly be a silent fortune. The next coin on our list is exactly that kind of coin. It looks ordinary, even aged, carrying a deep, dark brown rust layer across both sides that many people would mistake for damage. But collectors see something completely different. They see hidden wealth, a quiet treasure hiding in circulation while millions of people unknowingly spend it every single day. If you ever come across this coin, listen carefully. Do not spend this coin. This small piece of copper can represent serious money, and what comes next is not fiction. The coin is the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark, struck in Denver during a fascinating time in American history. The early 1950s were years of economic tension and transformation in the United States. The country was deep into the Cold War era. Industries were expanding rapidly, and the U.S. Mint was working at high speed to produce enough coins for a growing economy. Minting presses were running hard. Metal supplies were constantly moving through production, and small variations in striking quality and surface preservation began to appear in certain coins that today have become legendary among collectors. This penny carries the classic Lincoln wheat design that had already become one of the most recognizable coins in American history. On the front, you see the strong profile of Abraham Lincoln, a design introduced in 1909 by sculptor Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's portrait symbolizes unity, resilience, and leadership, values Americans deeply respected in the decades after World War II. Turn the coin over, and the famous wheat ears frame the words 1 cent, representing American agriculture and the foundation of the nation's strength. These wheat stalks are exactly why collectors call these coins wheat pennies, and within the coin collecting community, they are among the most sought-after coins ever produced in the United States. What makes this 1953 penny especially interesting is the D mint mark, located just below the date. That small letter means the coin was minted in Denver. Denver was producing millions of coins during the early 1950s, but only a tiny fraction survived the decades with their original surfaces intact. This particular coin carries a dark brown rust layer across both sides, giving it a powerful antique appearance that collectors often describe as authentic, natural toning. To the untrained eye, it might look worn, but to serious collectors, it signals originality, a coin that has aged naturally without being polished or cleaned. The metal composition of this coin is another important piece of its story. Like most wheat pennies of the era, it is made from 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. That copper alloy gives the coin its warm color when new, but over decades, it slowly transforms into deeper shades of brown and even black depending on the environment it lived in. The dark brown surface on this coin is not a flaw. It is a sign of age and authenticity that collectors strongly respect. Physically, the coin has the familiar weight and feel that wheat penny collectors instantly recognize. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures about 19 millimeters in diameter, and carries a thin thickness of around 1.5 millimeters. Despite its tiny size, it feels solid in the hand, a small piece of copper history that survived more than 70 years of American life. Now here is the detail that changes everything. Coins from 1953 were heavily circulated across the country. They passed through grocery stores, diners, bus fares, and newspaper stands. Most were scratched, cleaned, or lost. Some were exposed to moisture. Others were polished by people who believed shiny coins were more valuable. In reality, those cleaning attempts destroyed countless coins that might have been valuable today. That is why surviving examples with original surfaces and natural tone, especially in almost fine condition, are far rarer than the mintage numbers suggest. Collectors pay close attention to tiny details on coins like this. The exact tone of the copper, the way the wheat stalks appear on the reverse, the sharpness of Lincoln's hair and cheek, even the depth of the lettering. These subtle characteristics tell experts whether a coin survived honestly through circulation or was altered later. When a coin like this appears at a serious auction, collectors become extremely focused. Bidding often begins quietly, but as experts recognize a strong example, the competition can become intense. Many collectors are not buying these coins to sell them again. They are buying them to hold, to lock away in collections where supply becomes even smaller. Demand for wheat pennies like this has been rising steadily because fewer original examples remain in the open market. Every year, more coins disappear into private collections, leaving fewer available for new collectors entering the hobby. That shrinking supply and growing demand is exactly what turns an ordinary penny into serious money. Right now, the current market value of a 1953 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark in almost fine condition, with that deep dark brown natural surface, is about $269,000 in today's collector market. That is real auction-level money for a coin most people would overlook without a second thought. This is the kind of quiet wealth that changes everything when someone realizes what they're holding. So remember this warning clearly. Do not spend this coin. If you ever find one, protect it immediately. Never clean it, never polish it, and never try to improve the color. Original toning is everything to collectors. The smartest move is to place the coin in a protective holder and have it professionally graded. Authentication and grading can unlock the true value of a rare coin and protect it for decades to come. When you search through old jars of pennies, family coin boxes, or inherited collections, slow down and look carefully. Check the date. Look for the D mint mark. Study the color of the copper. Many valuable coins slip through people's fingers simply because they rush and assume every penny is ordinary. The truth is, some of the greatest treasures in American coin collecting are still hiding in plain sight. And believe it or not, the next coin on this list is even more unbelievable. Some collectors consider it one of the most underestimated wheat pennies still appearing in circulation today. The detail that makes it rare is so small that most people miss it completely. But once you see it, you will understand why collectors are quietly fighting to own one. Coin number 3. Now listen carefully, because the next penny on this list is one that many people would never even notice. It might be sitting in a jar, mixed with ordinary change, or hiding in a forgotten drawer somewhere. To most people, it looks like an old worn copper coin with a grey-brown shade on the back. But to serious collectors, this coin represents something completely different. It represents hidden wealth, a quiet treasure that slips through people's hands every single day. The coin is the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark. And if you ever see one like this with its original grey-brown tone, you need to stop and look twice. Because what seems ordinary could actually be a silent fortune. The year 1957 sits right at the edge of an important moment in American coin history. The country was in the middle of the booming 1950s. Industry was expanding fast, families were growing, and the economy was moving at full speed. The U.S. Mint had one major goal during that time: produce massive numbers of coins to keep up with everyday commerce. Presses ran constantly, metal supplies were flowing through the mints, and the pressure to maintain production sometimes created coins with striking characteristics that collectors would later find fascinating. This particular penny came from the Denver Mint, which you can identify by the small D mint mark beneath the year. Denver was one of the busiest mints in the country during the 1950s, producing millions of coins that spread across the entire United States. Most of those pennies were used heavily in circulation. They bought groceries, paid for newspapers, moved through vending machines, and traveled through countless pockets. Over time, Many were scratched, polished, cleaned, or completely lost. That is why finding one with its original surfaces and natural tone is far rarer than people expect. The design of this coin is one of the most beloved in American history. On the front, Abraham Lincoln's portrait stands calm and dignified, a design created by Victor David Brenner that had already become iconic by the 1950s. Lincoln represents unity and leadership, and his face on the penny became a daily reminder of American resilience. On the reverse, two tall wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent, symbolizing agriculture, prosperity, and the strength of the American land. That famous wheat design is exactly why collectors call these coins wheat pennies, and they remain one of the most collected coins in the entire country. The metal composition is another part of what gives this coin its historic character. Like most wheat pennies of the time, it was struck from 95% copper with small portions of tin and zinc. Fresh from the mint, these coins had a bright copper shine. But decades of time slowly transformed that copper into deeper shades. This coin carries a grey-brown rust-like shade on the reverse, a natural aging process that collectors call original toning. That color tells experts the coin has lived an authentic life without being cleaned or artificially altered. When you hold one of these pennies, it feels light but solid, a tiny piece of American metal history. It weighs about 3.11 grams, measures roughly 19 millimeters across, and has a thickness of about 1.5 millimeters. That small copper disc has traveled through nearly 70 years of American life, quietly carrying its story through every hand that touched it. Here is where the story becomes exciting for collectors. While millions of 1,957 pennies were minted in Denver, only a small number survived with their natural surfaces intact. Many people believed polishing coins would increase their value, but in reality, cleaning destroys a coin's collector appeal. When a coin is polished, it loses the delicate surface texture created at the mint. Experienced collectors can recognize a cleaned coin instantly, and its value drops dramatically. That is why original coins with honest circulation wear and natural color are so important. Collectors also study tiny details on this coin that most people never notice. They examine the sharpness of Lincoln's beard, the lines in his hair, the spacing of the letters, and the way the wheat stalks appear on the reverse. These details help determine whether the coin survived in strong condition or was damaged over time. When a 1957D wheat penny appears with its original grey-brown tone and almost fine condition, collectors become very interested. Auction rooms can become surprisingly intense when coins like this appear. The bidding is rarely loud or dramatic. Instead, it is quiet and focused. Experienced collectors watch carefully, knowing that opportunities to acquire coins with strong originality are becoming fewer each year. Many buyers are not planning to resell the coin quickly. They are adding it to long-term collections, locking it away where it may not return to the market for decades. Demand for these coins continues to grow, while supply slowly shrinks. Every year, more collectors enter the hobby, searching for authentic wheat pennies that still carry their natural character. Meanwhile, many surviving examples disappear into private collections. That simple economic truth, rising demand and shrinking supply, is what transforms an overlooked penny into serious money. Right now, the current market value of a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark in almost fine condition and original grey-brown reverse tone is around $251,000 in today's collector market. That is a powerful example of how a tiny coin can become a life-changing opportunity, a silent treasure hiding in plain sight. Many people would spend this coin without a second thought, never realizing they just let go of a fortune. So remember this warning clearly. Do not spend this coin. If you ever discover one, treat it carefully. Never clean it, never polish it, and never try to change its color. Those natural surfaces are exactly what collectors value most. The smarter step is to protect the coin in a safe holder and have it professionally graded by a respected coin grading service. Authentication and grading can reveal the coin's true potential and protect it for the future. When you search through old coin jars, inherited collections, or forgotten penny rolls, take your time. Look closely at the date. Check for the D-mint mark. Study the tone of the copper and the details of the wheat design. Patience is one of the most powerful tools a collector has, because the difference between an ordinary penny and a hidden treasure can come down to one small detail. And believe it or not, the final coin in this video is even more surprising. Some collectors say it's one of the most underestimated wheat pennies still slipping through everyday change today. The reason it's valuable is something almost nobody notices. But once you see it, you'll understand why collectors are quietly chasing it across the country. Coin number 4. Now we arrive at the final penny on this list. And this one is the kind of coin that makes collectors stop breathing for a moment. It is the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny with the D-mint mark, a coin that looks so ordinary that millions of people would never give it a second glance. It might be sitting in a jar of loose change, sliding across a grocery counter, or hiding at the bottom of a drawer somewhere. Yet inside the world of serious coin collectors, this tiny copper coin represents hidden wealth, a silent fortune that people are accidentally spending and losing every single day. If you ever come across a penny like this, listen carefully. Do not spend this coin. What looks like a simple old wheat penny could actually be a treasure worth serious money. The year 1958 carries a special place in the history of American coinage. The country was moving rapidly through the booming late 1950s. Industry was strong, the economy was expanding, and the U.S. Mint was under constant pressure to produce massive amounts of coinage for everyday commerce. At the same time, something historic was happening. The famous wheat penny design was about to end. After 1958, the U.S. Mint would change the reverse design to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. That means 1958 represents the final year of the legendary wheat penny series, the last moment when those iconic wheat stalks were struck onto American pennies. Because it was the end of an era, millions of 1958 pennies were produced quickly and pushed straight into circulation. They passed through grocery stores, gas stations, diners, bus fares, and vending machines all across America. Most were heavily used, scratched, polished, or simply lost over the decades. Only a small number survived with their natural surfaces intact, and that is exactly why collectors pay such close attention when a strong example appears. This particular coin carries the small D-mint mark beneath the year, meaning it was struck at the Denver Mint. Denver was one of the busiest mints in the United States during the 1950s, producing huge quantities of coins. But even though the mintage was large, the number of coins that survived with original character has shrunk dramatically over time. The coin we're talking about shows gray-brown rust-like spots across the front and back, creating a deep antique tone that collectors recognize as natural aging. To many people, those spots might look like damage, but to experienced collectors, they often signal originality. Natural toning develops over decades as copper reacts slowly with its environment. That process creates shades of brown, gray, and sometimes almost black colors on the surface. When collectors see a coin that has aged naturally like this, they know it likely hasn't been cleaned or polished. And that matters more than most people realize. The design of the coin remains one of the most iconic in American history. On the front, you see Abraham Lincoln's profile, calm and dignified, a portrait created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. His face became a daily symbol of leadership and national unity. On the reverse, the two tall wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent, representing the agricultural roots of the United States and the strength of the nation's land. This wheat design had been part of American pockets for nearly 50 years before 1958 closed the chapter forever. The metal composition of the coin is classic for the wheat penny series. It is made of 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc, giving the coin that rich copper character collectors love. When freshly minted, these pennies shined with bright reddish color, but over decades, they slowly transformed into deeper tones. That gray-brown appearance on this coin is the natural result of time passing, and collectors value that authenticity. Physically, the coin feels small but solid in the hand. It weighs about 3.11 grams, measures roughly 19 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness close to 1.5 millimeters. It's easy to underestimate a coin this size, but that tiny copper disc carries the final chapter of the wheat penny story, which is exactly why collectors study it so closely. The survival of coins like this is surprisingly rare. Most 1,958 pennies were used hard and exposed to everything from moisture to rough handling. Many people tried to polish their coins to make them shiny again, not realizing that cleaning a coin can completely destroy its collector value. Once a coin's original surface is removed, collectors lose interest. That is why an untouched coin with natural toning, even if it shows honest wear, can be far more valuable than a shiny but cleaned example. Collectors also obsess over tiny details. They examine the sharpness of Lincoln's hair, the lines in his coat, the edges of the wheat stalks, and the crispness of the lettering. Even small differences can reveal whether a coin survived in strong condition. When a 1958D wheat penny appears in almost fine condition with its original gray-brown surface, collectors begin paying very close attention. Auction behavior around these coins can be surprisingly intense. Experienced buyers watch quietly as bidding begins, often waiting for the right moment to step in. When a strong example shows up, the competition becomes serious. Many collectors are not buying to flip the coin quickly. They are buying to hold it long-term, locking it away in private collections where supply becomes even smaller. Demand for original wheat pennies continues to rise because new collectors enter the hobby every year, while the number of surviving coins slowly decreases. This combination creates a powerful market effect. As supply shrinks and demand grows, prices climb higher and higher. Right now, the current market value of a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark in almost fine condition and natural gray-brown rust spots is about $270,000 in today's collector market. That is the kind of quiet wealth most people never imagine when they see a penny. A coin worth 1 cent at face value can secretly represent life-changing money, a hidden treasure sitting unnoticed in circulation. So the warning is simple and clear. Do not spend this coin. If you ever find a 1958D wheat penny with original surfaces like this, protect it immediately. Never clean it, never polish it, and never try to brighten its color. Original toning is everything to collectors. The smartest move is to store the coins safely and have it professionally graded so experts can verify its authenticity and condition. When you search through old jars of change, inherited collections, or forgotten coin boxes, slow down and look closely at every wheat penny you see. Check the year. Look for the D-mint mark. Study the tone of the copper and the small details of the wheat stalks. Many hidden treasures slip away simply because people assume every penny is the same. And that is the powerful truth behind these coins. Some of the most valuable treasures in American numismatics are still hiding in plain sight, quietly passing through hands every day. The next time you see an old penny, remember what you learned here on USA Coin Reveal, because the smallest coin in your pocket could secretly be the biggest opportunity you ever find.